Welcome to Sunburst Market. This is Vivian Atut, and I'm going to be giving you the headlines across the globe on different areas. We would be looking at what is making headlines on business news on Sunburst Market this morning, what is making headlines on stocks, what is making headlines on investing, on commodities, on Forex, on crypto, on insurance, on startups, on personal finance, and more. Stay connected. If you are joining us on this YouTube channel for the first time, check out in the description, go to Sunburst Market and get your latest market news and get your latest business news and get your latest news on investing completely free of charge, headlines from across the world. So let's start with it. What is making headlines today on Sunburst Market? Coming out of the US, it's a story on business news talking about COVID vaccination for little children, COVID vaccination for little children, as scientists continue to make strides in the fight against COVID. Now the little ones can go out there and be vaccinated. If you want to know more about this business news on COVID vaccination, go to Sunburst Market right now, check the links in the description and go and get more information about this news story. Another important news story on business news this morning, it's really on electric cars. The story is talking about General Motors, talking about Ford, talking about Tesla, and how they are looking at issues. How are they tackling the issues of electric vehicle charging problems, the shortages in electric vehicle charging facilities? Go to Sunburst Market. Check the link in the description if you're interested to know more about this story. Another important story that we would be covering this morning, it's really talking about Israelites or Israel shares increased. They are increasing at quite increasing rate of 1.31, and this story was covered for Sunburst Market by investing.com. If you're interested in this business story, go to Sunburst Market and you would be able under the business section to see this. There are many more stories on business issues around power switch inventory. You can also check out that story on Sunburst Markets. The links are all in the description, and there are many more business stories. But let's go to our second important headlines, which is looking at stock markets. How are the markets looking? And they are talking about issues of recession and other issues at this particular point in time. But if you look at stock market news, you would be looking at one of the stories that we see is stresses the economic, whether it's the Fed in the US and other governance organizations. They are stressed because of the downturn or the anticipated recession. So you want to know how markets are reacting to this. You want to know how Federal Reserves and government regulators are reacting to this market slowdown. Go to Sunburst Markets under stocks. You would be able to see some of the articles that are out there. So another thing that is coming out of the news this morning is about property inventory. So go out there and check out the article talking about properties inventory, and you would be able to get more on this story on Sunburst Market under stocks. some other important articles coming out or news coming out of Europe, talking about summertime of discontent that is really showing issues around labor market, talking about labor market. And this article was covered for Sunburst market by Reuters. So if you go to Sunburst market on the stocks, you will be seeing issues. What kind of holiday is the European area headed for? Is it discontent? Is it going to be labor market unrest and strikes and all that? You can see more about this story on the stocks in Sunburst markets. Check the descriptions and you will be able to see more on this. So there are lots and lots of other articles on markets and on stocks that you are able to see if you go to stocks and on the Sunburst market. So let's talk about markets. Let's talk about markets. What are some of the things that are happening as far as market news updates are concerned? Sunburst market has got quite a lot of articles around that, articles about property. What do you need to know about property right now in this season? If you want to know more about property and in this season, you should go up to Sunburst market, check these articles out, and you would be seeing other articles. There are articles about issues that Fed is dealing with even in this season. Which issues is Fed, the US Fed winning? Which issues are they losing on in this season? If you go to Sunburst markets and you check on the markets, you would be seeing some of these issues that have been discussed. You see articles that have been published there discussing these issues. And another interesting one that will be coming almost every day right now, it's about crypto. It's about crypto. Why others call it crypto haters, others call it cooling, others call it downturn, others call it crypto meltdowns. But do we know whether it's haters? Do we know whether the crypto market is collapsing? Do we know? So if you want to learn more about crypto and what some of our writers saying about this, it will be important to check out these articles on the Sunburst market. And if you're an investor, and are interested in news around investment and all that, check out some of the articles that are published on Sunburst markets every day, making headlines. There is one there about a Motley Idiot inventory advisory versus rule breakers 2022 comparability. You can be able to see the performance of these two portfolios in this year. So far, it's half year gone now. If you're interested in these, this could help you to guide some investment decisions or seek further guidance. But this is an interesting story you might really want to check out. Another interesting article that we see on Sunburst market is talking about the carnage that we haven't seen. We have seen nothing like this since 2008. What carnage are they talking about? How will it affect your investment? How will it affect your personal business? If you want to check more about this carnage, go to Sunburst market and check out these articles on carnage. We haven't seen carnage like this since 2008. Market carnage, investment stocks, and all that. Go there and check out this article, as it might help you to make better decisions that will assist you in different areas of your business investing. So other interesting articles on the investing, it's really talking about, is it time to buy shares in this dip? Is it time to watch the market, time to participate, time to hold on cash? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? So it will be interesting to check out these articles so it can assist you to make a decision. What time is it for you? What time is it? And another article there talks about Warren Buffett's shares, really looking at the portfolio of the biggest investor in the world. So it will be interesting if you're interested in understanding what is in the basket of Warren Buffett as far as investment is concerned. Go and check out this article on Sunburst Market and you will get more information. Other interesting things on Sunburst Market, talk about commodities, what is happening in the OPEC areas. The OPEC are debating what in relation to subsequent transfer as U.S. presses for extra oil. The U.S. economy is squeezed. Consumers are squeezed on all sides. Consumers want better and cheaper oil. Where will this oil come from? And OPEC member nations are busy discussing this, and let's watch out what happens out of this. For this story and more, go to Sunburst Market, commodities, under commodities, and read more about this. Another important article to watch out for on Sunburst Market this day, it's really what is happening. Power Workforce and the SEC Council proposed guidelines on local weather disclosures. So dealing with weather disclosures and the SEC, if you want to know more about this, visit Sunburst Market under commodities. You would see what this article it's all about, and it can actually assist you. Another one that you might want to check out is really about a fuel processor that has been purchased in Delaware for $3.55 billion. It has been purchased in this season that energy is having short supply in various parts of the US and various parts of Europe because of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. You might want to check out this article so that you can make better decisions. So what else is trending on Sunburst Markets this morning? The Forex markets. One of the stories you want to check out is about the US greenback is actually having a weak spot. It's actually having a weak spot, and this has helped the EU or the Euro US dollar to stabilize. Check out this article and you can begin to see the probable direction that these Forex markets are going. One other thing is about the yen. The Japanese yen closed to 24-year low as the Bank of Japan came out with some data. So check out how movements in the yen were affected because of reports coming out of the Bank of Japan. Check out this on the Forex in Sunburst Markets and see what could be the possible directions for the yen going forward. It is important. Another important story is about Macron loses parliamentary majority. This is big for the governance of France. This is big as far as France and the future is concerned. Let's watch out and see what happens with the parliamentary majority that has been lost by the French president Macron, and how this will affect his work. You want to see more about this article, check out Sunburst Markets and you would see what this article is all about. Dow Jones and S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 outlook for the week forward is also covered on the Sunburst Market. You want to see how these indices are performing and the possible outlook. Check out check out Sunburst Market, and you would be able to see this article and see what is out there. Another important segment of our news brief this morning on Sunburst Market, it's really looking at crypto. What is happening in the world of crypto, whether we're talking Bitcoin, whether we're talking altcoins and others. But interesting stories. Bitcoin climbs against again above 20K. So let's see if the sink has been turned. The sink in Bitcoin is taking a turn for the better, but as far as this article is concerned, Bitcoin turned the leaf and made some gains, and these gains are quite important for crypto enthusiasts and crypto investors and traders. So other news making headlines talk about Korean Monetary Authority impose ban on Terra builders. So the Korean government is actually having very, very serious issues with members of this crypto currency. So they have instituted a ban. You want to know more about this story? Making headlines on crypto this morning, but the big one is Bitcoin has taken a positive outlook, made some gains, and these regulatory issues are always important to also check out, because that would help you make better decisions. So other news about altcoins, that showed some momentum and jumped 14%. That's interesting. 14% is quite a big jump. You might want to check out more about this article to assist you make better decisions. So other news covered on Sunburst Market is actually on insurance, with the various risks that businesses and individuals are facing out there. Getting insurance news update becomes a very, very important business imperative. So for all your business insurance news, there is a story coming out of Louisiana Supreme Court that has found protection for COVID enterprise losses, talking about property insurance coverage for protection. So there is an article out there talking about what has come out of the court. So to check more about that, if you're in insurance or interested in insurance news, check this out on Sunburst Market so that you can understand what is happening in this area. So another important article there is about different insurance companies, reappointments happening in insurance companies, that have threatened to actually impact revenue of folks on LGBTQ plus points. So this article talking about insurance and LGBTQ plus. So you might want to check this out. There is quite a lot of news coverage on Sunburst Market this morning. Let's talk about personal finance. And one of the things is about hourly rates. How do people earning as low as $18 per hour live a sustainable life? And in this article, the writer talks about being trapped or caught in her mother's house and being because of how much she makes a month, which is $18 a month. You want to know more about these and stories making headlines on personal finance? Check Sunburst market under personal finance. So another article there talks about easy methods to start saving cash in this difficult economic circumstances. Saving becomes a business imperative. So how do you go about saving? On Sunburst market is an article talking about savings, and it might assist you to grow your savings. There is also an article that is talking about how an enterprise can transfer or transform towards pay fairness, pay equity, and all these important issues. There is much more articles on personal finance. I'm talking about tax credit line. There are other options here. So if we go to Sunburst market and personal finance, we are going to find lots of articles there that can actually assist you improve your personal finance knowledge and how you manage your personal finance. Let's go to another interesting topic on Sunburst markets this morning, and that is the subject of startups. Startups, great, they create businesses, they promote entrepreneurship. And Sunburst markets is actually coming up with some interesting articles on startups this morning, suggestions for construction of a profitable subscription business model. So everyone is talking subscription, everyone is talking clicks and all kinds of things. So how do you build a profitable business model based on subscription alone? This article covers all of that, and you can check it out on Sunburst markets. So there are many more articles talking about 5 instruments to use in your business-to-business advertising techniques. So these instruments are covered in Sunburst markets under startups. So you would be able to cover that. So, and finally, the last section that we are covering this morning is actually on real estate. What real estate news is out there? News out of Hollywood, residents. You can get stories about Hollywood residents. You can get stories, ideas about kitchens. You can get other important ideas from architects. So 10 most reasonable priced Fort value suburbs. So there is a lot of articles being covered in Sunburst markets this morning to get your daily dose of news. I would suggest you go onto Sunburst markets, check out business news, check out stocks, check out markets, check out investing, commodities, check out Forex, check out crypto, insurance, personal finance, startup, and also property. Thank you for being with me in this video. I would see you in the next video when we talk closing market news updates.